It was a cold Saturday morning when Harper knelt beside the toy store window, her weary eyes tracing the rows of bright pink boxes stacked neatly behind the glass. Any dream she knew she couldn't afford. Beside her stood little Mia, dressed in a faded blue frock, holding tightly to her mother's worn sleeve. Her gaze was fixed on a Barbie doll with golden hair and a dazzling pink gown. Inside the store, the world looked magical, full of smiles, colors, and promise. But reflected in the glass was Harper's reality: tired eyes, quiet worry, and a love that had learned to survive through struggle. She swallowed the lump in her throat and whispered softly, "Sweetheart, I can't buy you a Barbie for your birthday this year. If you believe that kindness and second chances can still make this world a little brighter, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to World of Kindness. Because sometimes one small act of compassion can rewrite an entire life." Harper hadn't always known this kind of hardship. Once, she worked at a cozy cafe downtown, serving coffee with a smile, and saving every spare dollar for Mia's small joys: crayons, ice cream, little hair ribbons. But when new management took over, the cafe closed, leaving her without a job and with bills piling up faster than she could count. Her husband had left long ago, back when Mia was just a baby, leaving behind only a note and a mountain of debt. Still, Harper refused to give up. She took every job she could find, cleaning houses, folding laundry, scrubbing floors late into the night. She often went hungry so her daughter wouldn't have to. And now, with Mia's 6th birthday drawing near, all she wanted was to make her little girl smile. But her wallet held just 8 crumpled dollars, barely enough for bread, let alone the sparkling doll in the window. As Harper sat on the cold curb, watching Mia press her tiny hand against the glass and whisper, "Maybe one day, Mommy," her heart broke a little more. Before she could reply, a man in a dark suit stepped out of the store. He was tall, sharp, and quietly observing someone who didn't seem to belong to the same world as hers. His name was Cole Harrington, the CEO of the very company that made those Barbie dolls. But Harper didn't know that. To her, he was just a stranger in an expensive coat. Cole had been having one of those mornings that blur together endless meetings, calls, and reports about profits and trends. But something about that small moment, a mother kneeling beside her child, love and pain mingling in her eyes, made him stop. Reminded him of his own mother, who once scrubbed off his floors just so he could buy books for school. He watched as Harper wiped Mia's tears and whispered, "You're still my princess." With or without a Barbie, those words struck him harder than anything in his corporate world ever had. Moments later, as Harper stood and took Mia's hand, Cole quietly told the store clerk, "Pack up that display Barbie, the one in the pink gown." When he stepped outside, Harper instinctively pulled Mia close, uncertain of his intentions. "Excuse me," Cole said gently, holding out the box wrapped in a soft pink ribbon. "I couldn't help but overhear. Maybe this can make her birthday a little brighter." Harper froze. "Oh no, sir, I can't accept that," she stammered. Cole smiled faintly. "You're not accepting it from me," he said softly. "You re-accepting it from one parent to another, from someone who knows what it means to want more for your child than life lets you give?" Tears filled Harper's eyes as she looked down at the doll. Mia's face glowed with pure happiness as she held it close. "Mommy, she looks like me," she whispered, smiling through her tears. Cole didn't wait for gratitude, simply nodded, turned toward his sleek black car, and paused just before getting in. "Ma'am," he said quietly, "we're hiring seasonal staff at our new warehouse. If you're looking for work, tell them Cole sent you." And then he was gone. That night, Harper placed the doll on their small kitchen table, lit a single candle from last year's birthday, and sang softly as Mia clapped and giggled, her new Barbie held tightly in her arms. For the first time in a long while, hope didn't feel like a distant fantasy. Days later, Harper gathered her courage and went to the warehouse. She had no polished resume, no references, just a flicker of faith. When she mentioned Cole's name, the manager's eyes widened. "You're the woman he talked about," he said with a warm smile. "We've been expecting you." She got the job that very day. Months passed and Harper's world slowly began to change. She worked hard, earned the respect of her colleagues, and found herself surrounded by kindness, a team that believed in her, a boss who saw her potential, and a daughter who never stopped believing in magic. One evening, after getting her first steady paycheck, Harper took Mia back to that same store window. "Do you remember this place?" she asked softly. Mia looked up at her and smiled. No, Mommy. This is where you changed everything. And Harper realized her daughter was right. Because sometimes it isn't grand miracles that change a life. It's a single moment of compassion. It's a stranger's quiet act of kindness that can turn despair into hope. Cole never told anyone about what he did that morning. But for Harper, it became the moment that changed everything. Before we go, I want to ask you, what would you have done if you were in the CEO's place? Would you have stopped to help or walked away like so many others? Let me know in the comments. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to World of Kindness, where every story reminds us that humanity still shines brightest when life feels darkest. Because somewhere out there, another Harper is waiting for someone's kindness to change her world. Thank you for watching.